Welcome to another weekend podcast. I will be honest, we joke about not knowing what to name it, and every now and then I kind of change the name on Spotify, just to test it out, see if anything grabs people. Because, just using
Yeah.
our name sometimes, like, who the fuck are Soto and Chad? Uh,
Mhm.
and I've gone through a few, and then through a conversation that we kind of had this morning, I kind of made a joke to you about something you usually say, sometimes I've said, and I'm like, that's the fucking perfect name. Just kind of change it. So yeah, for at least now, it's called We Have Thoughts. I don't know why, but today's
We
episode's called
do.
We Do. Because
We
every time
legit do.
when I make you watch a shit movie or something like that, you're like, I have thoughts. That's our go-to. And since there's we have thoughts. This week it's just called the Dungeons and Midlife Crisis. Mainly just
Yes.
because we're in our fucking 40s and our whole life right now is a midlife crisis probably. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, we have thoughts, and but yeah, we're doing this live on YouTube, and I pop it up on Spotify on Mondays. Get everything at least just cut the beginning because no one needs to see the
Mhm.
starting soon there. But yeah, so we got a few
Oh.
things to go through. A couple things I want to talk about as well, but I kind of want to start off with a text you sent me earlier today,
Mhm.
and I felt like it might be a good conversational piece. So I'm going to give you the
Yeah.
floor and explain to the people what you texted, and let's get into it, or let's go from there.
I'll start. Obviously, I like to give backstory to this, and so this is what's going on. I'm a big user of ChatGPT, and ChatGPT just released pretty much its most comprehensive model, which is ChatGPT 5. Now, there's been some people have complaints about it, but overall, the potential for ChatGPT, especially with its agent application where it can just take over your computer and just do things that you tell it to, like an actual assistant, and just kind of log into things and manage things. I was like, oh my God, I wonder if I could probably use ChatGPT to automatically like expand our brand, right? Like maybe create bots and things like that, like to get people to come into the channel or whatever, whatever like ChatGPT recommends. I'm pretty much going to be like, hey, we have a podcast. We want to increase viewership. Can you get the word out? Maybe through social campaign, like automated, essentially. Because it can do it. It can even write code. Like you can tell it to write code for Minesweeper, and it will create a Minesweeper game for you. Like it can write video game code. That's where it's at right now. So it can do a lot of things. There's a lot of potential for this tool. And I was like, oh my God, that'd be great. Like maybe we could try this and maybe, we could use AI to blow up, viewership and people that are checking us out. And then I had the thought and I was like, wait a second. What if that sucks? like what if we're doing right? Like, let's say we're doing our Saturday podcast, which is like chill. I've been playing Baldur's Gate all day. You've been playing Harry Potter all day. I'm sorry, Hogwarts. Like
Yes,
what?
yes, same
Hogwarts
universe, but yes, it's the
same fucking
Hogwarts
thing.
universe. There is no
The
Harry Potter.
Hogwarts
There's no
universe.
Harry Potter in this
Right.
game. No, anyhow, go ahead.
Right.
Yes, we've
Right.
been chilling.
So like we've been chilling, and then we pop on, and this is kind of fun, and it's pretty low pressure, and we talk about whatever we talk about, and we always make the joke that nobody's listening anyways. But what if people were listening? Like, what if we jumped on right now, and we had like I don't know 1,000 people like listening to this podcast, and people in chat and things like that. Would this still be fun? Or
So,
because would it? I feel like it would turn into something else. But I mean, it'd be kind of nice, but at the same time, it sounds pretty scary. So wanted to get your take on that.
well, there's a few train of thoughts about that, because for instance, you're like 1,000 viewers. I don't.
Throwing it
It's
out there,
very,
you know.
it is very, very rare and very, very hard for anyone that's a very small time, not just podcaster, YouTuber, whatever, just social media content creator, to
Mhm.
go from that to that. A lot of things are gradual. You get a few because even though we joke no one's listening, very rare. It does happen, but it's very rare. One or two people might jump in, say hi, in the beginning, and
Right.
sometimes we get a couple comments. And I'm just focusing right now on the talks on this Saturday stuff, the live podcast stuff. I'm gonna kind of
Mhm.
bring it full circle on our channel. So yes, I mean, I going from zero Let me rephrase it. Going from 1 to 1,000, yeah, that would be insanity. But I would
or
also
even
like to.
200.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, but it depends. I think everything's gradual because what a lot of people try to do, and it's hit or miss, is they got a small group, and there's a, that's why you see like support groups, blah blah blah. And I kind of tested one out when I first tested out being a YouTuber, for lack of better terms. You're like, okay, they'll help you promote, and it's great, but there was no real growth after a certain time. And I'm like, you know what, fuck it. When we did this, and I first came to you, and a lot of this was really just at first Twitch and streaming, and live, that it was more of that. It kind of evolved. I'm like, if people join, they join. I'm like, we're doing this for us. If we had that problem, that's a good problem to have, and we'll tackle that problem when it comes. So, for example, though, like I would say on our channel, the most successful thing, and quote unquote successful, that we've done is still, to my opinion, Rotten Taste. I think because
Mhm.
it is there is a, as we say, there's definitive rules to what we choose our movies. A lot of it is nostalgia for a lot of people. We both see the movie, so hence there's more of a discussion than, like I said, the 200 movie challenge, where one of us kind of explains, maybe the other asks a question. You know what I mean? So I would say, if like right now, the Saturday podcast literally jumped, just I'll say 1,000 viewers. By then, that also means the subscribers went up, we got our views, and we just hit monetization fucking quick. We would probably be having discussion about maybe trying to do this an extra day or two, just whenever we can, because if that's what people, because think about it, you gotta kind of joke about this with certain sports, you almost gotta cash in when you have the
Mhm.
opportunity. And
Right.
and I would say, listen, we might need to tone down the 200 movie challenge. I know this is something we want to do, but I'm like, people are listening to us. If we're like, holy shit, we got 1,000 viewers, like, we need to focus on this. And let's just see what happens. Because I will tell you, now I'll tell you the other side. um Years ago, there was a content creator that I would say kind of in our group, kind of new, I knew, and he did this game series, and I can't even remember it. He does face cam, and it's almost like it's very sadistic and funny. You're trying to get. It's very stick figurey, and I would have prepared for this. But anyhow, they die in horrific, funny ways. And
Mhm.
he is very charismatic. His face expressions, and his channel jumped from the 100, 200, and next thing, like in a week, he had like 4,000, 5,000 subscribers from just this series. And he focused a little bit
Wow.
more, and it grew. It continued to grow. It was just like, then he got to a point where he got burned out. And again, I think he was probably doing a lot of it on his own. It's not like me and you, we have, each other to be like, oh, what the fuck? And it happens. And that's the downfall. Like, can you sustain it? Yeah, no, you know what? I would love, even if it's just like I said, I've always said, if it's just even 5 or 10, I would prefer more the comments than the likes and the views. Like, if people come in,
Mhm.
just say, hey, blah, blah, what do you think of this? It gives, a chance, for us to deviate and, conversation, but also engage with the audience. And a lot of our videos, even before anyone who comments, I try to at least give a response, even if it's just a thank you, because you try to. Um, so yeah, are we ready for it? I have no fucking clue. I mean, we're old enough where we would be like, fuck it, let's do it. That's always just been kind of a motto of us, fuck it. And that's what we would do. But yes, if for some reason, even if it was 200, we would have to see where it ended. We might, like I said, hey Soto, you know what? Let's check our schedules. Can we do this like on a Wednesday night as well? The live shit is working, or let's just say all of a sudden, like, the Rotten Taste, I know we haven't done a video, but all of a sudden, like, for some reason, everyone was picking up on it, and it just blew out in the water. People were watching that, go finding the videos. I'm like, we might want to think about going back to that. So yeah, I would say you cash out when you can. You just try and be like, listen, this is successful. It's not. You almost have to, like, we have to do this now. Are we ready for it? I don't know. I mean, we would do it.
I
I
mean,
mean, now
is there any money to be made in this
it can.
situation? Like, really?
So
Like,
for example, all right, so I can focus a little bit more on YouTube than Twitch, because we were making, I mean, again, little money in Twitch. We always joke, hey, we got a 25 gift card, $25
I
gift
bought a
card.
video game.
Yeah, we
I
did,
bought a video
but
game
we've
voucher.
stopped doing, and we stopped doing Twitch. But that was very, you know what I mean, whatever it was, every 6, 8 months. I know it took a while because they up downed it from 100 to 500, or 550, excuse me. bucks. But on YouTube, is there? Yeah, that's why I have friends. Mel, Marty have now. Is it a lot? No, but is it like a gift card where you're like, hey, we got a free game? Yes. Hard part is sustaining it, and like I said, if for some reason you got those viewers, are they staying with us? Because I'm saying right now, if somehow we jump to 1,000, there's a reason we got to 1,000. It's not like if someone just like, hey, like some famous person, let's just dump 1,000, and then they never show up again. And if that's the case, then we're back to
Right.
doing the same shit we do. But if
Mhm.
all of a sudden, like, okay, is there money? Yes, there is. Now, is it a lot? It all depends because a lot of it is the ads and how many people watch your ads and not skip your ads. I used to joke with Mel, I'm like, hey, I didn't skip your ad today when I try to watch some of her videos. You know, it helps. But it's pennies, but it helps. So yeah, still that's small time. But then you get to the when you get to like the 30, 40, 50, 60,000, 100,000, that's when you're like, I think, and I could be wrong. I think when people hit 100,000 subscribers and get those views, I think that's when that's their mindset of I can somehow make a living. I need to put more time. Is this now? That's like the decision time. Can I put more time in it? Is this something I can do? And some people succeed, and some people just like they're just fine with the pennies. So yeah, we could. We still have to hit like first like 500 subscribers, and we're not even halfway there. And then you have to get a certain amount of hours watched. Which if you have 1,000 viewers, you're going to hit that. You know what I'm saying? If you have a
Yeah.
thousand, so, no matter what, you're going to hit that. You do one live stream for 4 minutes, and if every one of your 1,000 subscribers watch for 4 minutes, one live stream, you've hit your monthly goal, and then you can apply for monetization. Now, again, there's rules, and yeah, there's YouTube that you hear they joke. They don't make a lot. That's why a lot of people do like Patreon and stuff like that. And that would be something we would talk about. Like, this is the side content. This is where, like, for example, I tend to watch a guy for wrestling. Like I like the way he talks. He's smooth. It's easy, and whatever. I can just listen to it. And he's like, hey, join, and I don't join him on Patreon. I'm not paying for people, but he's like, yep, you pay for Patreon. You can see we'll do the live, like he's watching wrestling live, and you can watch it
Mhm.
with him or reviews, but it doesn't get taken down because it's not like public. You know what I mean? The people are kind of paid. So there's like different
Right.
set of rules. So yeah, no, I would be down. It would be a challenge. I'd be like, that's a holy shit moment. You know what I mean? Like, I mean,
It
hell,
would be
if
much
10 people
different,
joined
you
it,
know?
that's a holy shit moment for me right now. Um,
I mean, we've seen 8. I've seen 8.
we've we've
I've
had a
seen
hot,
8 people, but
yeah, we've had a little like when we did Twitch. I think we've had times where it's gotten up there, and I'll go ahead. I'll tell you about something a couple times what happened to me. But go ahead.
no, it's just that I feel like I would be nervous. So it's like right now, like, it's just fun. And sometimes we talk about, you know, egg salad sandwiches and whatever. And we pretty much do this to make each other laugh. So, I just kind of wonder. I mean, you sent me that text about the chat GPT thing, and I was reading it out loud. I
Yeah,
was reading it out loud to Sarah and everything, and I was like, this is kind of cool. But like, I have fun making the videos that we do. We've been doing
correct.
this since 2021. And everything. I look forward to it. It's even Sarah's like, you guys never fucking miss a week. It's rare.
Well, yeah, we'll be
There
missing
are
2 weeks. We'll
weeks
talk
here
about
and
that
there.
later.
Right. But like, it does happen from time to time. But like, we consistently put shit out there. Like every single week we're recording something. Last year we did the whole fucking NFL season with the parlay, the pizza
Yeah,
parlay shit. Like we did the whole like we just keep making content and we do it all the time and it's really fun. But as I think about it, it's like, why worry about something that's not happening? But like we're just chit chatting right now, and what would it be like if the chat was blowing up, right? Like, and there was all sorts of people in chat, and then comments were blowing up and things like that, and people had expectations, and
we would.
I know that you like to get into arguments with people on the internet.
Well, all right.
In comments. I know you do, so I'm not really big
So,
into that because you know I'm just not.
so
So I don't know, but it would be weird.
if we honestly had, and I've watched chats, like sometimes, me and Jill watch certain content creators. I'll also sit down and watch other Dead by Daylight creators with her just chilling. Like I'll play on my phone. the thing is, if you again, I'll use the 1,000 viewer model. Even they're all chatting. You can't keep up with chat. That's what if we're on Twitch, you do like the polls, or sometimes what you try to do, like in an off time, you just look if a certain comment, first of all, catches you. You're like, oh yeah, you bring it up because you're now focusing on that. For all right, and plus we would have mods like we would have mods that would actually be in our chat to monitor it. But let's put it this way, like again, if we have 1,000 viewers, that means people are liking what we say. They're like, oh shit, because that's a good number. That is a fucking good number. But for example, let's just say you're watching like a live Rhea Ripley. I'm going to use your crush for this one. And, she's just
Hmm.
talking. And then you just, you say something like, oh, I love you. And she's like, oh, Soto, thank you for the comment. Yeah, me and Io Sky have great chemistry. It makes that one viewer, like you get that connection and you just say something real quick. You kind of ignore most of the BS. You try to. And yes, I do every now and then. Well, no offense. Our most watched TikTok was a fucking horror meme and people went off on it. And the whole joke
I
was like,
know.
this is an obvious thing. And I'm like, I had to play into it. They're like, no,
Yeah.
you're wrong. It's not Art the Clown. It's not in the Mount Rushmore, but that's a side story. But yeah, no,
Hmm.
if we had that chat was going off, we would not be able to see it. And a lot of times people are chatting with each other. And yeah, so when I did Twitch, long before we did this, I remember two occasions where I got viewers that I was insanely impressed and like, what the fuck's going on? And the first one I understood because when Resident Evil 2 came out, the remake, they had a half an hour demo. You can do whatever you want in the demo, but 30 minutes, no matter where you're at, it turns off. And I think they did the same thing for like Resident Evil 7 or 8, you know what I mean? Or 4,
Yeah.
whatever. But it was just a half an hour. And at that time I was streaming a little bit more. And I had one of my friends, she was kind of in chat, so she actually helped maintain because again, I'm trying to focus on the content and just being what's going on and screaming because I can't go under her cage. And I see when obviously on PlayStation, you see that counter. And then all of a sudden I saw it go above 30 and the chat was, I'm like, what the fuck? But that's what people wanted to see that weekend. So like when one person was done, they would go to the next one. So I'm like, I had that benefit. And I said, listen, I
Yeah.
know the chat's going off. I'm like, but I need to focus on this. I'm like, I got 30 minutes. I'll try and chat with you ever. And even somebody, oh yeah, we understand, blah. And she kind of maintained and she even made a screenshot of it. But Marty one time screenshotted me this, and there's a game I played, World War Z, which I'm surprised me and you never played that or bad. But anyhow, four of us are playing. Again, I streamed it, and I had 20. Like I had a good number, and around this time I was like 20, and then all of a sudden it went above 50. And I think my
Hmm.
like I know my body felt like you. I had that again panic. I'm like, did that really jump? I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And it was that time there wasn't much chat, but I was above it. And Marty actually took a screenshot. Like, so if you search World War Z, my name was third. Like they gave you suggestions of content creators, and somehow my name was third because of the amount of viewers,
Wow.
and that's how people jumped on it. And I was just like, but again, I would tell you, like, if it happens, no, me and you are still going to do this shit the way we do it. Every now and then, I might just, because I know I like right now, I have the chat off to the right. If anyone says anything, like, I can see it.
Hmm.
And I'd be like, oh, yeah, so and so. But for the most part, we would still do what we do. We just might be talking about doing it a little bit more. Because I'm like, at that point, I'm like, if we're monetized, like, okay, how can we make our free video games? How can we pay for our PS Plus? How can you play for
I would
your
like
new ball?
that.
But you know what I mean? Like you just get a $25-$50 gift card every month. Like, yeah. I mean, so yeah, would it be I would like to have the problem. We'll figure it out. Like I said, I'd just be happy if like five people were chatting. Like, hey, there we go. We got, that was always my favorite times. Even when I had two or three, just in they're random people. They're just like Shadow of the Colossus. I had one guy jump in my chat almost every time I was doing a challenge. Like I think I did 2 or 3 days. I feel like two, but yeah, he joined me the whole time and he was chatting just how much he loved the game. And that was pretty much it. He was like from Australia, I think. And yeah, we were just chatting. And that's it. And that to me is like the fun part. This is, don't get me wrong, what we do here is fun, but getting that audience participation when they actually participate is kind of fun too. And I know we kind of stopped streaming like on Twitch and shit like that, but I don't know. It's a problem. If we have it, we have it. And we'll come to. If 1,000 people jumped, I'd probably shit my pants. I'd be like, Soto, you take control. I gotta go take a shower. That's probably what would happen if all of a sudden I see this thing jump up to 1,000. I'm like, I don't know how that happened, but it
Yeah.
did. But
Well, I so you're okay with me moving forward with like using
I
AI to see if it could do anything.
test anything out. I a lot of times right before we go on, I throw it on Twitter. I try and throw it on Facebook if like any family members want to join. And again, it's not.
Mhm.
I know we've a couple times I've had um, people come in. Early on they just ask a question, then leave because obviously not many people will stay for the hour. Um, but you know
As we
what?
know.
But sooner or later, someone will because they were like, "Oh yeah, I kind of want to listen." I mean, hell, remember on Twitch when we first started doing it live? I think though your mom wasn't listening. I think your sister set up so your mom could hear us or something like that. And I didn't realize the
Yeah.
name at first. You kind of knew the name, and yeah, I think the joke was like Mama Sota. I'm like, "Oh hi, Mama," and that was it. But yeah, but
That's right.
I don't remember how it all. I don't. Yeah, but I know it was one of the live ones, and yeah, she's like, "Oh yeah, that's my son," and they're just whatever. But I don't know. I have no problem. Test whatever. If it works, it works. The worst thing that happens is I say you waste some time. You know what? You gave it a shot, and that's the same thing. A lot of times I'm just like, "Yep, I'm editing this real quick, blah blah blah," and put it on Twitter. I'm like, all I'm doing is just if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but it doesn't hurt to try. So.
I'll give it a shot. I'll see what because with the new Chat GPT 5 and everything, where AI is going, you do a lot of things, man. A lot of things that you couldn't do before, and this thing can just do it for you. And it's not even like I don't even think that AI is really like like widely accepted yet. I think people still don't understand how huge AI is going to be and the things that it can do. Most regular people, like even people that I have that are coworkers. So at work, I have like my job pays for ChatGPT, so I use like the business ChatGPT to create reports and things I need to do like at work. Um, Pretty soon, it's going to be creating Excel spreadsheets for me because it'll take over your computer and it'll act as an agent. Um, but there are coworkers that are like, "Oh, I don't know about AI. Like, I'm not very comfortable with AI." It's like you better start getting comfortable with it because it is like the way of the future for good or for bad. Because obviously we've seen, some videos, and I'm sure one day there'll be a full feature length movie that's entirely done in AI and written by AI. These things are going to happen. These things, there are already books that are being written by AI. Like you could have ChatGPT write you an entire like 300, 400 page book, sell that shit on Amazon for like freaking $3 and just like have it create its fucking the cover picture, and you could like just have a pseudonym and then just make money off of that book being sold on Amazon as a
Yep.
digital book.
Crazy. Fucking
And you
crazy.
didn't do shit. All you did was just put a couple prompts in, and you're just like, all right, like fucking who cares? Like, ChatGPT, write this fucking book, or write a 90-page fucking screenplay, like, and we'll just set it out to everybody and see what happens. I mean, there's a lot of stuff we can do, and I think that I'm not entirely sure how it works, but I'm going to go to GPT and say, okay, this is us, this is our link, this is our channel. You're, act as a brand manager and, start implementing things to start putting things together to grow the brand and to get visibility out there. Because I think that's number one with anything like this is just getting people to be aware of it. Um, and finding an audience that will listen to our stupid asses
Mhm.
talk about stupid shit. It's like obviously this is not for everybody, and I know a lot of people who would find this incredibly boring, and that's okay. But it's a big world,
It
so
is.
you know if we can have maybe out of the I don't know billions of people that are in this world, if 50,000 of them could think that we're kind of cool, um, that might be kind of funny. So that's a football stadium worth of people.
And
So
that's the thing. You just find the one thing. Like if a lot of people again were asking us about movies and like that became like the major topic for us that people wanted our opinions on, we would probably
yeah,
again go to more movie based things and questions for themes. If people are like, oh fuck, these guys know what they're talking about for fantasy football, which we don't, but if somehow we just
we
all of a
we
sudden like
we
we just
proved that.
yes, well yes and no.
we We've proven that.
I
Yeah.
mean, I watch these fantasy football things, and a lot of times they're saying the same shit. And I'm like, all you gotta do is say it with confidence. It's just like,
Yep.
yeah, number one pick, Jamar Chase. Yeah, that's what fucking everyone's saying. Whatever. Because after like it happens, no one cares. You just gotta have the personality. But
Yeah.
again, you just kind of see what people are listening to, what they like about you, and you adjust. And yes, I mean, if ChatGPT helps, great. It doesn't hurt. And we can figure it out. I
A
always said,
tool.
yeah. I've said it. And I know I need to do it too. Like, I want to get back on Twitch a little bit, even for gaming. I got to see if I can maybe stream to both YouTube and Twitch at the same time. I'm not too worried about it. But like we haven't done anything on it, and technically we're still affiliates. If we can get those subs again, yeah, we can get those fucking
Yeah.
free. Well, I say free. They just put in I can send you a $25 check if you want. It just was easy to be like, I'll buy a PS card and be like, here you go. I buy it off Amazon. They
Oh,
give me a
this is
code. I send you the
great.
code. You know what I
I'd
mean?
rather do that. Like, because, I mean, look, a video game for me is the worst thing that I could possibly, be gifted, but it's the number one thing that I want, even if I'm not going to play it like for 3 years. 'Cause right now it looks like I'm going to play Baldur's Gate for the rest of my life. But to your point, yeah, I think that's way better than money. Just throw me a fucking PSN gift card, dude. It goes a long way. Shit, these games are like fucking. You can get a really good game for like $20. I know that used to be our thing of what would I pay for this game, but yeah. Yeah, man, I'll use ChatGPT and see what it does, and maybe we can get some more listeners on this shit across Spotify, Twitch, and YouTube, and now we'll see what happens.
Well, yeah, and I think I might have told you this when I was looking into, and I'm sure there's other podcast sites and stuff. I think I just chose Spotify just because I'm like, all right, first one. I don't know how many of them I want to go to, but it's the only one we do right now. But even they said, because I was looking into it, if it was worth it, and it's kind of like what we do. They said, no matter no matter what you talk about, just realize you're going to be talking about it to no one. Basically, like we joke about, no one's
Yeah.
listening. They're like, just be prepared for that for a while. Sooner or later something might hit. But they're like, just accept the fact that you might be doing that. And I'm like, okay, well, we're doing that for YouTube anyways. All I do, like I said, is cut out the starting soon and upload it there. And I'm like, it's no extra work for me, just little time.
We got a lot of practice. A lot of practice.
A lot.
Gonna nobody. It's what we do. It's what we do best.
It is. But yeah, again, if it happens, great. If we get those few viewers, and we'll just grow, quote unquote, the brand. But yes, we've been when we first started this. My goal, my thought process was, again, we did mostly gaming. Was I wanted to at least release one video a week. And part of that was just like, just kind of, so I know that first December we had so many, the pizza guy saved the world videos. I'm like, God, this is not Christmas. I'm like, but we're both busy. I'm like, I have nothing else. I'm like, this is and it just happens like Rod and Taste would be the only one now because of the 200 movie challenge. Like I have the main one, which is like an hour. And then I'm like, all right, let me at least break it up because it's not like we're doing anything else. I'm like, so someone might just want to see Happy Gilmore 2. Someone might just want to see
Right.
The Northman, so at least this way they can see it. If they like it, great. Yeah, I mean, but I still think Rod and Taste is where we had the most engagement out of anything. Overall,
Yeah.
I know we've had a couple of videos where people have talked a lot, especially the Fun Spot picture video, which I don't count that, but still, yeah.
Hilarious though. That was our first hit.
It was just like, yeah, well, because everyone was kind of bitching, and then finally it was like, it's pictures. And I think it's because I worded it the world's largest arcade, and that was according to Guinness Book, but then it came to debate about this Ghost Arcade that's in Chicago, which I think has more cabinets, but not a bigger space. And people are like, oh, that Fun Spot is like a shack. There's nothing there. I'm like, have you been there? I'm like, it's 2 floors. There's a lot in there. It's huge. I'm like, but I've never been to the one in Chicago, so I'm like, I don't know. I mean, that would be a fun road trip. So I know.
I love that being wrong on the internet gets you more views because people will just flame you for not being correct. Like they just want to check receipts. But that increased our viewership. I mean, we didn't get any long-term viewership. I mean, we had 230
Right, yeah,
subscribers.
232 right now. 262, 232. I don't even know where we're at, but
232, which I mean, it's grown by 5 people in the last few weeks. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna try to see if I can do more like updated character branding and stuff, and I'm gonna really try to play around with ChatGPT, see if we can just come up with stuff. And I use like the base that we have for our characters and everything. And
Yeah.
I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. We'll see. We also talk about wrestling too.
We talk about sports, wrestling, whatever, and a part of me, if I need to sit down and spend a little time, if I do this, is like I wanna I wanna listen to some of our 200 movie challenge content, quotes, and just be like make them into shorts. Like okay, put the video there because I can't remember what video you said it of. It was like very early on, one of the first 2 or 3 weeks, and I need to find it. But you called one of the movies you were reviewing. Hilariously, you called it's like a bag of Doritos. Like it's there, you munch on it, it's okay, no problem. You have, but you called the movie, and I can't. I always remember that line because I did like a 40 movie recap, just
Yeah.
because, and I'm like it's too much time, and I should have done that from the beginning. And I didn't want to, but anyhow, I was like, God, which one did he call a bag? And that always stuck with me. And just to have like a movie, like just say Oppenheimer and just whatever, and just like it's a bag of, which we've done. You're like that pizza short where I talk about just stay together, and you're like just stay together. Short, simple, just us.
Best thing ever.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that is fucking legendary. I was just thinking about the Pizza Boy Saves the World clip the other day of like the how like the pizza was all fucked up.
Oh, because we cut
Like
it
with
like
the
20 times.
oh my god, it was so great.
Yeah, that's a
I
short
can't believe
too.
you
That
played
that
that
was a
shit.
funny short. That was a funny, but and that's the thing. A lot of shorts, they just pop them out, and a lot of times they
Yeah.
even pop out the same one 2 or 3 times. Because they don't care about the views, just as long as it. I mean, the overall views, but if people are watching it, they'll go to the channel sub. So yeah, sometimes it goes downhill, and it just gets buried. So yeah, by re-releasing it, so no, I wish I had a little bit more time and just, but I gotta sometimes put that in the back of my head, like I gotta make that into a short. I can just do something quick on my computer and just be like bang bang, put find a picture where it's more vertical instead of horizontal, and just whatever shit we say, just the quick 2 or 3 lines, and people are like, oh, what the fuck? Because again, go back to that Mount Rushmore, and just the whole
All
fucking
it was
thing.
was just all it was just a little meme.
Yep. Well, there's that one, and then I think about I guess that's the meme, and just because we push aside Ghostface, and people are like, "What about art? What about this?" And somebody's like, "Well, of course it's Leatherface," and it's just then they're yelling at us. I'm like, it's just an opinion. Everyone can have their opinion. You might be
Yeah, but
wrong
people
because you
get
know what? I'm sorry,
mad.
Art the Clown's not on the Mount Rushmore. He's memorable, iconic because that's the word we use. That's right, iconic. But
Yeah, I mean, look, I could see. I've softened my view on that, but yeah, to go to your point, our divisive opinions have been the most popular ones.
oh my god. But speaking about change, we kind of
Yeah.
talked about this a little bit. We have been talking wrestling a lot this year. You started watching wrestling again January, when they came to Netflix, Monday Night Raw coming to Netflix, and it's kind of true even before because I had Peacock and I said, hey, they have the old school wrestling. We were watching like WrestleMania 1, 2, you were watching old W,
Yes.
and it was just fun watching a lot of the old shit, which I've kind of
Mhm.
stopped. And we were now started watching the PLEs. We watched, WrestleMania, Royal Rumble. We watched that was first. I think you watched your first Money in the Bank, which I was like, hey, they're just ladder matches. It's the act, but you know what I mean. All these, it was fun. We're like, hey, we're watching basically the pay per views. They don't call them pay per views now, PLEs, and free and great. We have it anyways. But yeah, the big news is WWE has signed for next year. Their PLEs are going to be on ESPN Plus.
Yeah.
And yeah, $30 if you want to get it with the Disney package, blah, 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 blah. So if you already have ESPN Plus and you're paying for it, great. But Soto, do you have ESPN Plus?
I don't yet.
Are you
Now,
planning? So
I'm
are you
like when
planning on to? It was really my question.
when I first heard the news, I was pretty fucking pissed. Because I was like, oh my god, I was like, I just got into this, and I'm not WWE, although has been really great, has had great moments. It has not been great enough to justify me jumping from streaming platform to streaming platform. And from what I understand, the Peacock back library is also going to be removed too, from WWE. So it's like chasing this WWE vault WWE Network. Wasn't that like a thing? Like it was like everything was there that ever happened.
Correct. There was like $10
Like
a
for
month.
all that stuff.
You got the
Oh my
PLEs,
god, that shit
you got
was
the
like.
Raws, the Smackdowns, and the whole and complete library. And yeah, that was the.
I mean,
It
yeah.
became a joke because they kept saying it on the air. Even Triple H, because he was an active wrestler, he's just like, hey, WWE Network, not like a wink and a smile because Vince McMahon. But yes, it was like $10 a month for the WWE Network.
It
But
was fucking great.
it
Like, and
was.
it had everything in it that you could possibly need. And now it's going to ESPN, and I mean, there's nothing for it. It's 1 point whatever $billion they paid for it, which is tells you how much
Insane.
wrestling has come a long way. Like, because now Disney owns. I mean, let's be honest. Disney now owns Star Wars, Marvel, and wrestling, WWE. Um, that's under their blanket.
Hmm.
Um, so like right now, I have Hulu and Disney as a bundle, but Hulu's going away. So if I get Disney Plus, which I don't even fucking watch, but I have it. There's so many streaming things I have that I'm like, why do I even pay for this? But because you just never know, man. Like you might, because those are where our quote unquote free movies come from that we do our little show with. Um, so I mean, I might, if it's reasonable, I might do it. I'm not happy about it. But I still do want to watch wrestling, and I do like it when it's live. I just don't understand. So now Netflix is only going to do not SmackDown, Raw, and
Yeah.
USA
So
Network does SmackDown. I don't even know where to find the USA Network. Do I have to have cable for that?
maybe or part of. But here's the
No,
funny
I
thing.
don't.
That's just in the States. The rest of the world can watch their PLEs on Netflix. That's the funniest shit
Yeah,
about
I
it. It's just
saw
like,
that. I saw
um,
that.
and I don't know how true this is. Someone's like, well, if you wanted to watch everything of wrestling, and that means the Raw, the SmackDown, the NXT,
Hmm.
and then watch the PLEs and the backlog, if you paid for each service, and again, I don't know how true this is. I did not do my homework if this is right or not, but I've seen this a few times, and I'm going with this number. It's almost $1,600 for the year.
No, no,
To get
no.
all the services, to get if you want to watch everything WWE. Now, I joke same thing as you. I do have a few. I still had Disney. I've had Disney. I've deleted Disney, but then I brought it back. So I'm like, okay, it's got all the Star Wars and Marvel. I do
Yeah,
tend to watch that, though I haven't caught up on Star Wars. It brought in the Doctor Who. Um, my stepson likes a lot
right.
of the old school Disney stuff, and it was only like $8 a month, but I think that's going up in price because I didn't do it with
Yeah,
the Hulu package. So I
I
could
think
probably
it's
delete that. Netflix, kind of like same with you. It's like, I don't really watch much Netflix, but I sometimes just go on a binge. There was some shows, Stranger Things, Cobra Kai, Squid Game.
yeah,
So it's like, okay, I'll keep this. And Peacock, I only got because Jill, and I think I said this on our 200 movie challenge, wanted to watch Chicago Med. And I looked at her, I said, well, if you're
yeah,
going to watch this, I said, if I'm getting this, you're going to watch, because I'm like, there's nothing I really want to watch, but obviously I'll get it for her kids. Again, it was like, and Peacock's actually going up from like $8 to $11. I know I'm cheap, but I'm like $3, but I'll look at it. I don't know if I cancel, like you, it's like, I like having Netflix as there for the backup. I mean, I'm going to keep Netflix. I have to till the end of the year, at least for Stranger Things. Um, but I don't know.
which is releasing on every single holiday.
Yeah,
Did you see
Thanksgiving,
that?
Christmas, New Year's. Yeah, yeah, right after.
So that's what I'm doing on those days. Is I'm just binging Stranger
Fuck
Things.
family.
Like
I got Stranger Things
I,
season 5.
you know how I go. You know how I feel with events and things of that nature. I'd rather be in my living room in my PJs having a beer and just binge watching shit. So, um, yeah, I guess I'll be doing that with Stranger Things. But yeah, to your point, those are like the evergreen streaming services I have. I don't have cable,
Neither do I.
although I pay fucking $100 a month for Fubo, which is I have to pay that because that's the only way I can watch the Red Sox. So it's like a de facto cable that's $100 a month, right? But
Yeah.
like, just everything is so fucking expensive. Like everything that so like you think you're canceling cable and you're saving money, but then you're buying all these subscription services that cost just as much as cable did, all
If you get them
combined.
all, yes. But
Right. So you're like, what the fuck? And then things jump from place to place. Like, this one movie I wanted to watch called Hereditary. Like, I saw it was free. Now it's like $3.99. And you want to talk about cheap? I'll see a movie be like $3.99 on Amazon Prime. I'm like, no, that's a little too rich for my blood. Like $4. I won't. For some reason, that's too much for me to watch a movie is $4. Now I will just absolutely crush that, as I've said at Taco Bell and Wendy's, without a second thought.
Yep.
But I will just refuse to spend $3.99 for a fucking movie on Amazon Prime. I don't know what the fuck that's about, to be quite honest with you, because it really doesn't make any sense. I could watch like one rentable movie a week and it would like not impact my life in the slightest.
No, and I agree.
But I
And
feel like in my mind it's a sunk cost, right? Because if I pay for it, it sucks. I'm like, oh great, it sucked. I lost $4.
well, the good thing is like Jill and I look at money the same way. Like I think we still try to live like life like we're poor. I mean,
Yeah, me too.
we're doing fine. I'm not saying we're rich now or anything like that, but compared to where we've been, we're better. But you know, we still have that mentality from time to time.
Oh yeah, me
But
too.
because like right now, she came, because I'm off today, I kind of stayed in bed. I was scrolling through YouTube Shorts. I'm like, I'm not going back to sleep. I wanted to, but anyhow. And she came in. Hey, I think she was going to get coffee, but she's like, "Hey, I placed an Amazon order. Is that okay?" And I looked at her. I'm like, "Well, it's your money too." But she always checks with me, and it's hilarious. And
Yeah,
then I'm like, "Okay, so
same with
what'd you
Sarah.
get?"
Yeah.
And then it's just like, "Well, I got this. Birthday's kind of blah blah blah." I'm like, "No, it's fine." I'm like, I mean, as long as you're not spending like $1,000, I question like, all right, what the fuck is this? Do we need to talk? you know, but
Yeah, no, for real. Yeah.
yeah, no, and I like you, it's like $30, but I'm gonna look into what else ESPN might have to offer because I will say one thing. The one thing I do miss is because I did pay for Red Zone and just to at least watch some extra football games. I obviously canceled it when the season's over because I'm like, I'm not paying for NFL on the off season. Fuck that. I don't know why people
No.
do that. They're like I
The
so
fuck?
yeah, well, because the NFL app, NFL Network, NFL. Like I said, I did Red Zone because I'm like, especially with fantasy, I'm like, okay, well, yeah, a couple games will be on Peacock. I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to watch these games. You know what I mean? So it's not like I had a fast choice of games, and I'm like, but at least if I get Red Zone, it's $8 a month, or whatever it was, and like I can pop it on, I'll see the highlights, and keep up with my fantasy team, have it, that kind of thing. But I might, but I don't think I will. But I'm gonna look. I'm gonna look and see what ESPN has and just be like, is it worth it? I'm like, man, then I'll be like, is Peacock? Are we watching anything on Peacock anymore? I don't know. We'll discuss it, but I
Yeah,
don't know.
I don't
Like,
think I do. Yeah.
no, not if they, yeah, especially well, if they're gonna get rid of the old school wrestling stuff. Yeah, I don't know how much of Peacock you will watch. It's like South Park. I was a fan of South. I mean, I'm still am, but now that they're on Paramount, I'm like, I'm not paying for Paramount for just South Park.
No.
Like, they got some of the
No.
old seasons on Max, and I was watching some of that, but I'm just like why? But you're right. When you had cable, it's just like everything was you paid an arm and a leg, but you pretty much saw everything that you wanted to. So
Yeah, there was just a new channel, and you're like, oh, okay, this is a new channel. But now it's like every fucking company has their own streaming. Mubi, I don't even know what the fuck Mubi is. Like, there's always a new streaming thing. They're like, oh, this movie's only available on this one nonsense word that you've never heard before in your life. And you're like, I don't even know how to even find that. Um, Weird world, man. I don't know. Totally
um,
different after COVID for sure. Because I
yeah,
think that it was going in this direction, but now, COVID just made things fucked up and funky. So, but yeah, everything's streaming. I mean, HBO went from HBO Max to Max, and now it's back to HBO Max.
but just yeah, I was always pissed, even though I didn't have it. I'm like, why'd you get rid of the HBO? Like to me, it's always been HBO. I'm like, that's the three letters you need to keep. Fuck Max, because there was also Cinemax, and I think that was
Yes.
part of it. I'm like, no, it's HBO. Yeah,
Hmm.
so
Yeah, I don't.
I will miss, like I was discussing, I'm like, if I don't watch PLEs again, yeah, it won't be as fun, but I'll catch the highlights. I'll watch, kind of like what I was doing before, watch the matches or something on YouTube when it comes up there, see the highlights. But it was kind of fun just texting you, like, holy shit, man, did you see that at the Royal Rumble? Blah, blah, blah. Oh my God, this match is shit. And, so it sucks,
Or the
but,
Seth Rollins turn, which
oh, yeah. But, just, I was
I
just
mean,
like, here we
I
go.
literally like watching it live. It's a different vibe because
Mhm.
I'm watching CM Punk and I'm watching Celebrate. I'm sitting there with Sarah, and then all of a sudden I hear the Seth Rollins music, and I just lost my shit. And Sarah was like, "You're scaring the cats." And I'm
over
like,
wrestling.
oh, over wrestling, yeah, because like it was like, oh, because you and I had been talking about it. Um, and then so, but that was a great live experience because I went through such a roller because he comes out, he's on crutches. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe Chad was right. And then he does the whole Willy Wonka thing, and I'm like, oh my god, no, it was a work. I was like, this is great. Like, just one of the all-time, to be honest, one of the best movie moments I've seen since I've started wrestling again. Now, when I watched night two, I had to avoid all social media basically until I watched it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was a thing. But it's nice watching things live, I think, even with football and baseball and anything, because, so many different ways you can get spoiled by shit.
Yeah, it's a way to be in the
And,
moment too. You've seen it live. A lot of other people, probably your
oh,
friends,
it's
have seen it
great.
live. But I was joking
Yeah,
with
it's
someone
just
with
like
the,
you're experiencing live.
and I know this is your first real, both men and women's Money in the Bank cash in, and it's definitely up
Yeah,
there.
it's on book.
And it was done because some of them have been shit where they just fumble the ball. But I was like, I laughed because again, I go back to when CM Punk was wrestling, and I think it was like 2011. He beat Cena in the title picture at Money in the Bank. This is why it's synonymous with him and Cena. It was their 5-star match, the only time Cena got a 5-star match, and the story was Punk was there was a little truth to it where Punk's contract was up. He did end up signing before the match, hence why they put the belt. But they made this thing like he was leaving the company with the belt. That was kind of like the Punk story back then to give you hindsight. Well, that match took place in Money in the Bank. So Vince McMahon came out. He's looking at, I don't know if you ever seen this footage, but looks at Punk pissed. Punk's way, and he's calling for the guy who just won the briefcase, Alberto Del Rio. And then Punk just kicks him real quick and runs through the crowd. And then I'm just like, so I hear Seth Rollins like, dude, just run through the crowd. They can't start the
Yeah,
match if you're not in there. And people are like, and
right.
I get it, it's theater, stuff like that. But I'm like, yeah, but Punk ran through the crowd last time. Like he hears the music. Yes, he did look around for like the Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Just
He did.
he did that. I'm like, okay, no one's there. Leave. It would have
Just
been one thing,
resign.
but yeah, just like, hey, you know what? He's chasing you. But again, I know it's theater. I know it's made up, and people will always talk about if Seth Rollins actually was injured during that match. Because some people said he did, and he thought it was worse, and it wasn't. So that's why they played it out. Because my whole thing was like, if you paid to see that match and find out that it was a fake
Yeah.
injury thing, I'm like, I would be pissed, especially because you know what that means? That means the Goldberg Gunther match went on longer than expected. But anyhow, it
Yeah.
is what it is. I like if it was a regular, if they did the injury thing on a regular Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, I would be like, whatever. And I know Saturday Night Main Event isn't really a PLE. Like I said, it's a glorified house show, but it's meant to be a showcase for some matches. So yeah, I think there's that. Like a part of me still thinks he really did twist it and he couldn't go on and he thought the worst. And then a couple days, like, you know what? I think it's fine. Blah, he panicked, whatever. He called the audible for LA Knight to win. Whether or not that's true or not, I don't know. But either way, it was a great moment. Like I said, him just putting down the crutches, his, arms out. So yeah, he has
Willy,
two of the biggest
Willy
cash ins
Wonka.
ever. It was
Yeah, I
theater at its
mean,
finest.
it was, and that is what we fucking watch it for, and it was just great. I mean, I enjoyed SummerSlam more than I enjoyed WrestleMania this year. I thought the matches were just at a higher level. Even the Cena Cody Rhodes match, which I hated in WrestleMania, uh, that had some great spots. It had some great moves. It had some great moments, and then it was awesome. And then they decided to put Brock Lesnar at the end of it. So, which controversial, but people seem to be really excited about it.
I think part of that's because again, Cena's last run. I think he's able to choose a lot. And yes, I think they're gonna hush in a lot. Like it also depends how long Brock Lesnar's here for. If this is a one off with him and Cena, just be like, listen, we're gonna have this match, we'll pay you, and then you leave again. Because Lesnar was always part time for the last 10 years. But there's also rumors that he signed a 1-year deal because next year's SummerSlam is in Minnesota. That's where he's from, so he can kind of have his final match in front of his home state. Like his final match is going to be near Boston. I think there's a TD Garden SmackDown in December, if I remember correctly, or something. So yeah, I mean, yes, the whole Vince McMahon, Brock, whatever. It's a good way to make Cena face. And yes, I think that's been Cena's best match since he's returned. And I'm happy that he got one
Yeah.
good match. Like he's going to at least go
Yeah.
off. Like no matter what happens, like okay, because him and Cody, yeah, I don't think he was ready to come back for that high of a spot. Um,
Yeah.
especially and it's not as he wasn't prepared physically. It's a different beast to be a wrestler. And the whole
Mhm.
Travis Scott bullshit, which I'm glad they just caught. Like no one, you can just tell the fans, no one wanted it. It's just like this doesn't make sense. Who the
It
fuck is this
wasn't. It
guy?
wasn't cool.
No, and
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't cool and interesting or intriguing at all.
they didn't
Like
think
it
about it
just.
long term, and that was the one.
Well, they're trying to make money. That's what they're trying to. That's what ultimately WWE is trying to do is make money, and they will always make decisions based off of that. So,
And yeah, that
hopefully the
that is
stories,
the right. It is the right. I shouldn't say the right thing to do, but if someone pays you like 2 times the amount that you're making now, like if someone said to us right now, "Hey, we're going to pay you this much to do 2 podcasts a week," we're like, "Wait, we're going to get paid how much? Fuck it, let's do this, Soto. I don't care. We'll talk about wrestling. We'll talk about movies. We'll talk about I don't know whatever."
my
But
God, if somebody offered me double what I make right now, like to do this twice a week, yeah, that'd be an easy one right there. I would be like, okay, cool. Like, let's set up production schedules. I guess I'm setting up
this is my
a
life now.
fucking room. Yeah, I guess this is my life. Could be worse. I don't want to fucking work for anybody. Um, so, but we'll see what ChatGPT does. We'll see if it has anything that will make that happen. So,
Yeah, you know what?
but yeah, I agree. I agree with WWE's approach. Capitalism, baby.
Yeah, it happens.
It sure does. It's happening all the time.
But before we go on to another topic, or if I don't even know we have another topic, we still have a little time. I saw this stat setup, and I want to share this with you since let's go on football a little bit. And
Sure.
we're fantasy's coming up. We got our draft in a few weeks on Tuesday night. Which
Yeah.
jokingly, I'm
Tuesday
like, let's
night.
just live stream it. I'm like, fuck it. I mean, well, people join
Yeah.
whatever, but that way, you can talk. But anyhow, when you're on TikTok, YouTube, and do the shorts, there's interesting things that always cross my mind. And I'm like, oh my god! I'm like, I gotta share this with somebody. And so I'm sharing this with you because I had to screenshot this. So I don't know if you know this. I don't know the stat. So you know how obviously you know how receiving yards. There's a stat out there. Who has the most receiving yards after they've turned 40? Okay.
Okay.
So
yeah.
who would you think would be number one? Now, mind you, this means just yards from 40 on. Does not mean the rest of the career. But when they hit 40, who has the most yards, receiving yards, since they turned 40? Not current, all time.
I feel like Jerry Rice played till he was 40, right?
Correct. Yeah, past 40. He is number one at 2,509 yards after he turned 40. That's
Yeah,
not, that's
I
not.
remember. I remember that kind of stat. Yep.
Yeah. So to be honest, there's 70. There's 70 people on this list. Now I say that 66
Wow.
player. Well, 66 players are tied at 0 yards, mainly because it's probably like a lineman or a quick catch. 70th is Brett Favre at -2 yards. He actually caught a pass, rebounded, and got sacked. But since it was a catch, but that's not the point I make.
Wow.
Would you have a guess that who number 2 is?
It's number 2. 40 is old for a wide receiver. You don't exactly get faster. Fucking, I don't know. Wayne Corbett? I have no idea.
I know. Don't worry. You're not going to. You know this player. So the number 2. So mind you, I just told you number 1. 2,509 yards. Jerry Rice, best receiver ever to do it. I'll go down that hill, whatever. The second place person has 6 yards. I just wanted
6 yards?
And the person who got a 6-yard reception was none other than the GOAT, Tom Brady. After I saw the time.
Oh my God.
It's not just the fact that you go from 2,500 to 6, which is just shows you Jerry Rice in a time when his body got beat, because the 80s and 90s were a different beast than now. I'm sorry. It was. And the fact that he did it, like you said, past 40 is impressive.
That's crazy.
But the fact that second place only has 6 yards, and it's because obviously it was probably trick play, and he just quick catch, and that's it. Third place is Mercedes Lewis, who has a 2-yard catch. And then, 66 players are tied at 0. But yes, I had laughed at that because, hey, Brady's on. receiving second and receiving for over 40. And it's just funny as shit to me. So, yes, I had to
Dude,
share that with you.
that's fucking ridiculous.
It's a useless stat that, we probably won't remember in a year or two. But yeah, it popped up and it's like, yeah, Jerry Rice got this many. Tom Brady's second with 6 yards. And then, yes, I saw Brett Favre at number 70 at -2 yards, and he's technically last. I was like, oh my God.
Brady's the GOAT, man.
He is. And
He's the GOAT. He's got a statue now.
yeah. Yeah. And he fucking cooked the Jets, and that was fucking hilarious to me.
Yeah. He just had to. He couldn't help himself. He just could not help himself, man. Now I feel like that's going to be something that Jet fans have to do when they go there.
It's going to happen. It's 100%. They're going to have security near his statue now.
I know, dude. It's like Jet fans are going to definitely throw their beers at that fucking statue. And you know what? He's got 6 rings, 7 rings.
So yeah,
altogether.
7 wins.
It looks like he could suit up and play right now. Meanwhile, Aaron Rodgers looks like dog shit. So,
which is funny because since now Rodgers is on Pittsburgh, the funny thing is now Pittsburgh plays Chicago this year, and the question is Aaron Rodgers going to own Chicago one more time game? Because this has to be if he even doesn't get injured himself, before break his little ankles there. But yeah, I don't know if it's in Chicago or in Pittsburgh, but they do play each other because Chicago plays everyone in that division, and so yeah, they're playing Pittsburgh. So Aaron Rodgers will play the Bears one more time before
he makes it.
If he makes it, I don't know where it is in the schedule. So I don't know if it's early on, but
yeah.
Oh,
see.
But yeah, we got fantasy coming up September 2nd. Kind of excited for that. I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I want football to be here. I know technically it's here with preseason, but the first week it's kind of hard because it's not like it's really the backup of the backups. But
yeah.
So I got to ask you. This is just let's talk a little fantasy football. I want to get this is more just an opinion. And I will say this is we'll base it on our league, which it's 1 running back, 3 receivers. Okay, and I just say that because there's a point. Well, no, because who would you say? Because I'm now hearing different things. I kind of went one way, but who would you say is the number 1 running back to take? Would you say it's Saquon Barkley or Bijan Robinson? Because a lot of people are going between the
Bijan.
You're gonna go Bijan.
Well, no, because we all know what I'm saying. I'm just laughing because we all changed how we say Bijan now because he corrected us.
Wait, so did I even say it right? I don't even know if I did.
You did.
Oh, I did. Good for me. Oh, what?
He was like, it's Bijan.
Oh. I did not. I'll be honest. I did not know that. I was like, did I just pronounce? Anyhow, so you would take Bijan Robinson,
Bijan over who?
Saquon Barkley. Who would you say is like if you had who is the top running back in this year? Your first pick had to be running back. Who are you taking?
I just don't trust Bijan. Because he's been going in the top 10 the last 2 years. Is this the year he's going to break out because of Michael Penix, in the Falcons? Because it's a different offense? I don't know. I would play it safe and go with Saquon.
So now here's really my question. Because now we're in a league that has 3 receivers. And me and you have both talked about going, and most people, this is the smart thing to do, going receiver heavy at first. Because running.
Oh, for sure. Because they're going to be taken up by everybody.
What pick do you say, for example, you have the 10th pick? What pick would you spend to take Saquon Barkley? Let's just say you had the 10th pick and Saquon Barkley's still there. Are you taking him and skipping the receiver?
It depends on what receivers are still on the board.
Really? So you?
Yeah.
So
because I want to have dude, last year I went with CMC first.
Yeah.
And so I went running back first, and that was a huge mistake. Because I was desperately weak all season. I was able to get lucky and make it, but I was constantly chasing wide receiver production in a league that did not have really a lot going on waiver wire wise, and there's not really too many trades that happen in our league. I mean, they do happen. But yeah, I was surprised how fucked I was with wide receivers to the end. And I don't want that because you can find running backs, especially if there's only one spot for it. You can find a running back.
Yeah.
Like you can get a handcuff, you can find whatever. They get injured all the time, so you can pick somebody up. But wide receivers are tough, to find them in a good system and then put them in there. Like I think this guy is going to be a sleeper on the Patriots. Stephon Diggs, is that who's on the Patriots now?
Yeah, if he can keep his shit together, I think he's. I say injured. He's not injured, but just I know there's a small injury, not like a Christian McCaffrey injury.
Yeah,
you're right about the later picks. You got to take your shot at like the handcuffs, and because I will say last year I too took McCaffrey. I was at the number 3 because he failed to me. Like I knew, I'm like, okay, because it was, I think, what was it? Justin Jefferson, CD Lamb, McCaffrey. Like those, I'm like, in my mindset, I'm like, okay, because I think Jefferson, CD Lamb were like the top two. I said, whichever one falls to me, that's the guy I'm taking. Like it's got to be bang, bang, bang. And in my league, someone fucked up the first pick because he was doing, he was putting things in like the hold. I can't think of the word. Just like when
the auto draft.
Yeah, the auto draft,
yes.
like for later. But somehow he got disconnected, and like his first pick was like Deebo Samuel, and it became because he was trying to like set up 3rd and 4th rounds, just like to watch. And I'm like, that's why I don't put anyone in the watch list. And
right.
Like we were like got too far because originally a lot of us like, hey, if we want to restart because we were too far in it, but the league, the commissioner didn't see any of it in time, so it went. And then pick 2 took Breece Hall. And I was like, I was staring at CD Lamb, McCaffrey, and Justin. I'm just like, and I panicked, Soto, because again, I was like, whoever falls to me is who I'm. And like you, I took McCaffrey. The good thing is, I went heavy the next 3-4 picks on receivers. I actually had decent receivers who did put up. They just got injured, so like I just could not. I had every week like 2-3 people injured because of McCaffrey. I know, like I forget who I had. I know Nico Collins went out. I even had like Zay Flowers was like my 4th or 5th. It was a good slot. Shakir, so I had great slot receivers that I could fill in. And I was somehow like the point differential for me, like I was in a lot of games, but I lost. Like I ended up being 10th, but I never got blown out. Like I was so close. It was just like, God damn it. Like the McCaffrey thing fucked me because it was a Monday night game and we could not, there was no one. I had to put in like the 3rd string because someone else picked up the handcuff. I put in like,
yeah,
and they didn't even play, and I was like, God damn it! And it had to be a running back, so it was in my flex.
I remember that shit. Yeah.
I was like, God, and I only lost by like 6-7 points, that first week. So I'm like, fuck. I'm like, but I was happy. I'm like, you know what? I didn't have McCaffrey. I put up a 0 on a running back, and that's how my whole season went. Like I had the right moves, I had the right players, just too many injuries. But every time it would just be like I would fall just short, and I was like, God, fucking. So yeah, I'm with you. But it's hard because you get to that 5th, 6th pick, having an elite running back. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Like if I was 10th and he fell to me somehow, I would seriously have to consider it because then you can just pop him in. Yes, I know injuries can happen. Anything can happen, but I don't know. I was just wondering.
Yeah, it's only one spot. And that's in our league. It's like if you make a mistake. It's like you have to wait a long time before you get another pick.
Yeah. Well, it depends. Unless you're like right in the middle, because a 16-team league, this is going to be insane. It's the first time I've done a serious 16 league. I've done ones with no money, but when you do no money, not everyone takes it seriously. And I'm always like, if you're gambling, which this is, like when you have money on the line, people take it a lot more differently. So
of course.
But yeah, if it's like 12th and I know my pick is coming right back around, like if it's late enough, I might take the Saquon Barkley. I'm with you. I don't know about Bijan Robinson. If somehow I can grab on the turn Ashton Jeanty, whatever his first name is, I have a feeling that Raiders running back is gonna be a sleeper hit because he's gonna get the volume. Like I would not be surprised if he was top.
He looked great so far. It's only preseason, but.
Well, I'm not. Yeah, I'm just. I don't even. You're right. I'm not looking at preseason. But just knowing that Raiders offense, a lot of it's going through him because that's the thing you want. If you get a running back, you want to find the 3 down backs because that's what you like. You like McCaffrey, but yeah, no. I'll tell you this right now. I don't know if I can take McCaffrey, even if it's like third round and somehow he's still fucking there. I'm like, I don't know if I can do it. Like, fuck you, McCaffrey.
I'll definitely do it because he gets receptions, and he really could. He could do some stuff. So, and that young running back from the Patriots who just broke out that 100-yard return, he looks fast.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's gonna be a lot. I'm gonna, probably get AI to help me prep for this shit too.
I tried. AI just gave me some fucked up answer because I filled in the parameters and I'm like, what's the, it's like no one knows. No one knows what the perfect draft is. I'm just like, I've been listening. I'm like,
No.
I'm just going to go with it.
Guys get injured, like you can get the top pick in draft and it's the best move you could possibly make, and a guy gets injured and it fucks up your whole entire season.
Yeah.
How many, like every time a guy gets injured in football now, it's like you hear the cries of millions of Americans being like, my fantasy team, I'm fucked. But I do like the idea of the guillotine format though. I really do. So that is kind of a fun thing.
I did this morning. I messaged your commissioner because he put, I don't know if you've gone on the site yet. He talked about doing, he's doing a guillotine league and I forget what the other one is.
Yeah.
And I messaged him and I said, listen, thank you again for allowing me to come in. I said, if you have a spot in the guillotine league, let me know. I said, I'm like, if you're all filled, and I said, if all spots are filled, don't worry about it. Because I don't want to do a fake one again because you can do it for free. But I'm in, Soto. Like, if this doesn't happen, like, whatever. And I also said, because if he's like, well, it's $200, I'm like, well, that's too rich for my blood. Like, I'm still a cheap ass at heart. But I did. I said, listen, I want to get in on this. Because you have to do is not be last. That is it.
Then you get to don't you get to like redraft the people, or they get to be made available?
So what happens, and I would have to read the Yahoo rules because say we all did it. Say 16 teams again. I'm just going off of that. Week 1, someone get whoever loses, all his players go into the next draft. So yes, whoever has the top pick, that's when your waivers are going to get insane because that's almost like, okay, let me, see. So there might be certain different rules where the last place gets first pick. I don't know. Again, it all depends on how a commissioner sets it up. I just think guillotine might be looked at differently. But yes, it's not like those players are locked for the rest of the season. But it has to be, so it's not like free, you can sign them all. It goes into a draft and then it's waivers after that. So yeah, so if you knock out the guy who had Barkley, you can be like, well, fuck, I just might have just got my running back. I got the first pick. Fuck it. But yeah, you do not have to get first place until the final match. That's it. You could be,
right.
You know what I mean? You could be middle of the road all the way there, under the radar. You're like, okay, no, I'm doing okay. I'm not the worst. Yeah, I am in. And like I said, I don't know a lot of people that want to try it. Because I don't want to be, I hate being commissioned. I hate trying to collect money, but I want to, if I can find, like I said, at least 8, I maybe do it. So I'll let you know. But I did email, I messaged him and I said, listen, if you got a spot, I'm in. I'm like, if the price is right. Because again, I don't think I'm doing the post office league this year. I've not heard anything. And the fact that I'm not.
You would have by now.
Well, yeah, because even in the thing, like a couple guys in the Yahoo thing said, hey, Lou, and there's no response. And I told one guy before I left for because he even asked, would I still be interested in doing it, though I'm in a different office? And I said, yeah, just let me know. But there was also talks about them upping the price. I'm like, I don't know, but we'll see. But I've not heard a thing, so I'm going to assume it's dead because, again, he's now postmaster, and it's different doing these kind of things with your employees, but he is a postmaster of a different office. It's not like he's in management of us. So, but he's right. For him. But now it's harder because when he worked with us, he could collect the money because we didn't do league safe or any of that shit. We just gave him hard cold cash, and that was about it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. He's got a lot on his plate. So he might just stick with the other leagues that he's not running. So yeah, I'll let you know. But again, our
commish runs like 4 leagues or something like that. I think Dan is running
10. Did you?
He runs 10 leagues.
So hold on. So have you even gone on? So first of all. So hold on, let me get. I don't know. So I had to re-download.
He loves fantasy football, man. He really does love fantasy football. I've known him for a long time. He really loves.
So this is the thing he sent in the chat, which is, in the last thing, this was before, it's like, hey, league fees, blah blah blah. But August 14th,
Sure.
AFL 10 draft. August 5th, like it's a 2-day draft. August 16th, 8. So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, and then an HC. I don't know what HC stands for. I'm sure it's something. I don't know. So that's got to be 11. So he's got Roman numeral. He's got 10 different Roman numerals. And so this dude is drafting from August every day. Holy shit! Hold on. From August 14th to September 3rd, team names locked. Yes, so September. Our draft happens to be the last because we're on AFL 1. Our AFL. Oh no. Okay, so some of these. All right. So no, the first 2 dates are drafts. Then it's draft order selection. So that's my bad. I now have read this whole thing. But yeah, but every day it's like draft order selection. But 8, yeah, AFL 10, AFL 8, AFL 4, AFL 9, AFL 7, 6, HC. I don't know what it is. So yeah, but in this chat, it's just us, AFL, which I'm assuming we were 1. That's why I kind of looked. I'm like, oh, we're in the first one. I'm like, draft September 2nd.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay,
Been here
September
for 10
2nd,
years.
8 p.m. Yeah, no, I mean, that's why I didn't know how. You're the beginning one, but yeah, he has 11 leagues, 10 AFLs, because he
Dude.
said, welcome back. Hope everyone is doing well. We are ready for our 10th season. This year, all 8 leagues return as we introduce our final 2 expansions. AFL not okay, so AFL 9's the guillotine, AFL 10's the dynasty. I'm not doing dynasty. I mean, that's like a family league thing. I'm like, I don't
Of
want to,
course.
because you got to think about players and this. I'm like, no, single season, erase my memory that season, start anew. So yeah, dynasty's definitely not for me. But he's running 10 fucking leagues. But I did message him.
Yeah, dude.
I kind of said, like, I want in on the guild because I don't know. I know I can go on DraftKings and just do a random money guillotine, which I might have to do if there is no one. Because at least, I mean, it's still legit. It's just if someone's running it, they're running it. But I did message him. I said, listen, if you have a spot open for a guillotine, let me know. I'm like, I'm interested. If not, don't worry about it. It's okay. I understand. Blah blah blah. But just let me know. That was it. I messaged him this morning. I want to try a guillotine. I do.
I mean, it just sounds more fun, to be quite honest.
Yeah, because you
I wouldn't
really.
want it to be my only league, though. You know what I mean? It's like, because you still want to play. And so if you do have a bad week and you're the last one, then let's say it's week 2, then you're asked out for an entire season. So it's kind of like a fun, like I would have like a regular football one, and then I
Correct.
would have a guillotine one.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, because now I'm doing your league. Like, if that's the only league I am doing it the regular way, that's fine. I don't want to be in multiple leagues, but this is a special circumstance one. Because you're right. You get knocked
Yeah.
out week 1, you're done. There's no way back in. Just like, hey, your players go. You're like, I mean, you're free. You're like, I guess I'm just going to enjoy football. But yeah, no, I like the whole season thing. I like, even if
Just gonna enjoy football.
yeah.
Those days are over, man.
Oh no, no,
The days of just being like, I'll
they'll
just
come
watch
back. They'll
football.
come back when this fantasy
Oh,
when fantasy is
towards-
over.
Yes, usually around the playoff times. Yeah, some people will be like, I guess I'm just watching football now, just for the fun of it.
That's how I was
No
before you.
longer
You were in
staring
playoffs.
at
Like
my
I said,
phone.
I missed playoffs. It was the first time I've ever missed a playoff in any league. And it's because of the
Yeah.
injuries. I'm like, all right, this is how it feels not to make playoffs. Oh, okay. I'm like, hey, I don't have to worry about shit. Like, I got pissed. I'm like, oh, I'm out. Fuck, fuck injuries, fuck football, fuck this. I'm like, oh, I can just watch this game. No bias, no nothing. Just, hey, you're winning. Great. But
I love that. That's fantastic.
But yeah, I will let you know. Like I said, but one way or another, whether it's with him or DraftKings, I'm doing guillotine. But so
Sure, man.
that's going to do it for us. Another week, another discussion. We will be here again next week. I don't know what we're discussing, but we just come up with the same bullshit every week, because we have thoughts. It's pretty much what we do. But the week after, the 23rd, most likely will be an off week, Soto. That's
23rd.
23rd, mainly because I will be starting coaching again, even though games are Sunday. For some reason, they do evaluations and tryouts on a Saturday. So I don't know when it is. I might be back, so I'm just gonna be like calling it simple, like, listen, just we're off. I'll pop something on Spotify, an older one that we did. But yeah, 23rd. If you got nothing planned, you're playing Baldur's Gate all day until Sarah comes home. So that might be your plans. But next week,
4-day weekend for me. That week of the 22nd to the 25th.
and the following week's Labor Day.
The following week I have another Labor Day. I'm telling you right now, I have not, nor will I be working a 5-day work week until September.
Ooh.
So like I have a 3-day weekend this weekend. Then I come back, I work 4 days, and then I come back, and then I have my weekend, and then the next week I work 4 days, and then I'm off 4 days, and then I come back for a shortened week because it's fucking Labor Day weekend. So even the day before Labor Day, which is like that Friday, I'm working like a half day, and I get paid for the whole thing.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I'm in the
So
midst of a 3-day weekend just because I'm like, fuck it, I can. And yeah, when Labor Day
I get
happens,
paid.
I'll have.
I'm getting paid.
I got it.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, it's I used a
I'm getting
vacation
paid.
day. I used a vacation day for Friday. Just go. But yeah, I know they're paying me. So yeah, no, I have a 3-day weekend. Um, but yeah, then yeah, that weekend, 23rd, 24th. But then Labor Day, I was looking way ahead. All right, Soto. But yes, we will be back next week. Who knows what we'll talk about? I will say
Who
this:
knows?
if those are listening at the end, um, check out episode 27 when we get to it of the 200 movie challenge, because I know Soto just watched Slotherman, and Soto's making me I forgot what you were making me watch. What was it called again? What was that
Dark
shark movie?
Side of the Moon.
Shark Side of the Moon. It is going
Yes.
to be a quality episode 27 of the 200
Oh
movie. I don't know
man.
what my second choice is. I don't know if I'm like, we'll see if I have to cleanse it. I will say this, Soto, which I was going to talk a little bit more through. I just finished movie 66, so I figured that's like 2/3 of the way. I went through my list. I kind of just, after the last, even as I was ranking them, I'm like, I did not feel good about how the 30s were looking and stuff. I'm like, what? So
Yeah.
I honestly sat down, went through my list, made some major changes. Um, I know we'll talk about this more, but like Alita bounced up because I had my reasons. Even Final Destination Bloodlines bounced up. A couple movies bounced down, but I was just like, I need to fix this. My middle section was looking not the way I think it should have. So yeah, even though we just did
We
it,
got
like
to do it well.
even recent, I'm like I'm 2/3 of the way there. From my at least 100, and I was not happy, so I literally sat down. My top 20 still the same. Like, so I'm like, I'm still confident in my top 20. Like, nothing even moved, swap places. But it was that middle section. I got to fix this. And it might change again, but yeah, I had to.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Sometimes you got
I think I'm
to.
gonna do it.
But let me know when you do, because I have to put in my chat GPT your list so I can just update my chat,
Yes.
because I have to. Though no one's watching, I use it for screenshots. But anyhow, that's a different episode. That's a different podcast. We do like 5 million of these. Yeah, if you're listening to this on Spotify, thank you. Whatever. You're not
Goes to
commenting.
you.
No one's listening. This is until Soto gets the chat GPT going for us. No one's listening. So,
Let's
oh,
see about that.
tell us your
Try to
thoughts.
get it to you.
We'll end it
Tell us
that.
your
We
thoughts.
have thoughts. Tell us your thoughts. Have a good weekend.
Yes.